supposed to feel.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we got Jim Rosati. Jim, we got ourselves a 13-9 win against the White Sox. We got ourselves a PNC blackout home opener. We got ourselves a 4-game win streak. How does it feel to be a Pittsburgh Pirates fan?
Fun. I think that's the word to just kind of describe what this whole week has been. It's been a really fun week, and today was a really fun day.
This isn't supposed to be how it goes. The Pirates are 5-2. Is this the best offense in baseball?
God, today it was. Those guys couldn't be stopped. I mean, the White Sox punched back a few times, and every time they did, the offense was right there to just say, "Yep, no. It's our storybook today. We're gonna do what we want to do today." And yeah, I mean, you couldn't have asked for just like a more fun game. I mean, it was back and forth. The offense was just rolling. Andrew McCutcheon's a Pirate again. I mean, that was just really cool. Brian Reynolds, Connor Joe, just G1 Bay. I mean, the whole lineup up and down. Awesome day of baseball.
Jim, are you there?
I'm here. Are you
there? Did you
lose
me?
I lost you. There you go. Now I got you back.
Okay. Maybe that was me. So I guess whatever you said there. Yeah, all that. But that's like where I'm at. Like, where do we start this show? I think like the story, of course, like heading into it was it's Andrew McCutcheon's return. AJ Burnett throwing out the first pitch to Russell Martin. You got Neil Walker in the booth. Like the nostalgia was just flowing today. And like the team didn't disappoint. It looked like they might for a minute, but like you were talking about, they kept punching back and everyone performed. Well, mostly everybody.
Let's just talk about the performers for now. But
yeah. I don't know where, like you said, like I don't know where to start. The graphic of the game is Andrew McCutcheon because of return, but so many players just perform. I mean, we could maybe put this out there. We've been talking like, we're going to do the player of the game. So for everyone that's watching right now, go ahead and comment. Who do you think the player of the game is? Because I think this is definitely a battle.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it was Brian Reynolds, but your thing's not showing up either.
Really?
I don't see it. It's just a blank screen. It's just a blank screen.
All right. Let's try this again. Is there something going on with my stuff?
There's something going on with your stuff. You're all blurry. You're all blurry and yeah, you're all delayed. There we go.
Okay.
All right. No, so I mean, I think it's got to be Brian Reynolds. Just unbelievable game. And like I said, put your comments in there. I would, you could go with McCutcheon just because he came back here, but Brian Reynolds 3 for 5, a double short of the cycle. He had a bases loaded, bases clearing triple that turned into a Little League grand slam. Like just an all around awesome game, fun day.
It was really nice to see. Not only, I mean, obviously it was nice to see because of the day, but this short 7-game start of the season for Brian Reynolds. I mean, we're talking about the extension negotiations and if he's worth this much, that much, whatever it is, you can't, I mean, is there a hotter start right now in baseball than Brian Reynolds? 5 home runs in 7 games so far. What, 16 RBIs I think it's at?
Yeah, he leads the league in home runs and runs batted in. So, yeah, I mean, just an incredible start to the season. It's funny to think about it because, what is this now? 7 games, 7
RBIs.
7 games can't really possibly change like a contract negotiation. But like, it's just funny that like they agreed on something, there was something that got held up the deal. And now just ever since then, he's been the best player in baseball. He's the best player in baseball so far through the first 7 games of the year.
He is. Right. I mean, right now he's batting 448, 469. He's slugging 1,103. That's not his OPS, Jim. That is his slugging. Good for a 298 weighted runs created plus. As mentioned, he has 13 hits in 7 games, 2 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 home runs. Pay this man his money today. Thank you.
And one thing that's kind of fun, like you look at win probability added as like a statistic, to kind of see like how important somebody was for the game. And it's hard to be as high as Reynolds was today. Brian Reynolds added 43% win probability to the Pirates today. When the game starts, it's 50-50, right? So you got a 50-50 shot. Then Brian Reynolds alone added 43% somehow. So just a crazy game. A lot of just it was fun game
for sure. I don't know, man. I like you said with Brian Reynolds, I just want to keep talking about Brian Reynolds, and we use this in a facetious way because no one should actually be talking about WAR in like the month of April, point blank, like in the entire month of April, let alone the first 7 games. But he had a 0.7 WAR heading into this game. I mean, he's clearly over 1 WAR after today, right? Like he has to be, most likely.
He's probably like, I'll bet tomorrow when it comes out, he's at like 0.9. Yeah.
Okay. So he's close to a WAR, which again, you're talking facetiously, but 1 WAR in terms of the free agency is worth about $8 million. So as you like to put out there every day, Brian Reynolds has pretty much put up $8 million worth of production in the first week of baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that means he's on pace for a 23 WAR season. So
yeah,
just to kind of play fun sample sizes. Just absolutely incredible. And what was nuts about today is just, we saw how frustrating some of those games in the Cincinnati series were where, guys would get on base and they couldn't do anything about it. But today, everyone was hitting all the time. They were 9 for 16 with runners in scoring position. 9 for 16 with runners in scoring position. Their 7, 8, and 9 hitters, DiNardo, went 10 for 15. They had 10 hits between Connor Joe, G1 Bay, and Jason DeLay. When you have 10 hits out of your 7, 8, 9 spots, you're probably not going to lose.
That was the incredible part for me. Like you said, the 7, 8, 9. I mean, Jason DeLay, we all know that's my catcher, right? From last year, carrying over. That's my guy. It's my dude. And he's blocking Endy. Hands down. I mean, they made the right decision. Jason DeLay is blocking Endy Rodriguez, as it should.
Right. I mean, ride the hot bat, I guess, for now. Jason DeLay, just have yourself a game, have yourself a week. Connor Joe, too, just huge game. 3 doubles for Connor Joe to go with a 4-hit game. Just everything was working offensively, except for Jack Suwinski. We'll kind of forget about Jack Suwinski tonight. Maybe we can talk about him if we need to, but yeah, Amanda, everything was working except Jack Suwinski.
Hey, we were nervous and worried about this in the offseason. Spring training, he looked awful. This is why I was on board with, I'm okay him being sent down. I understand why the Pirates wouldn't do that. But it's still carrying over into the season. I mean, 4 strikeouts today. Like you said, when everybody was performing. When Jason DeLay had 3 hits today and Jack Suwinski has 4 strikeouts, it's a bit concerning. And again, not to harp too much, there's a lot of joy to talk about today, but these are the reasons why I'm very concerned about Jack Sawinski.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff to talk about today. So, I don't really want to harp on Sawinski too
Right.
much.
I agree.
Yeah, so he didn't look good, plain and simple, but he's got to look better if he wants to continue to have a role on this team. But yeah, that's too much good stuff happened today. No need to talk about Jack Sawinski as DiNardo hops off here to hopefully figure out what's going on with this camera feed over there. But yeah, like I said, I would say Sawinski, Rich Hill. Let's just not even talk about it right now. Rich Hill, rough start. Just never got on a roll. Every single time that the Pirates got ahead, Rich Hill gave up the lead. So just not a good outing from Rich Hill. Saw a lot of people kind of talk, he shouldn't be in the major leagues anymore, shouldn't be on this team. Give the guy a little bit of time. It's been 2 starts. But he did not look good today. But thankfully the offense was there. And thank God that it was, because just with how the environment was, how the atmosphere was, they really needed a win today just to keep the vibes going.
They did. Now, let me just ask this for the people watching the stream. Is it any better? Am I still delayed?
Much better. Much better. Yeah, you're good.
This is very, very early reaction. I just want to ask you, we've seen the past 2 performances by Rich Hill. Any concern, or is it just, it is what it is?
Yeah, I touched on it a little bit while you hopped out there for a second, but yeah, I think it is what it is. The Cincinnati game, he got off on the wrong foot, had a rough first inning, but he looked pretty good the rest of the game. He kind of settled in. Now this White Sox lineup, a lot more damaging than that Reds lineup was that he faced, and he just they torched him. So he needs to get better, and he needs to get better quickly, because he can't keep doing this. But I have faith that he will get to a point where he gets a better feel for his pitches, gets a better command, because there's a reason why he's still in the league at age 43, and it's because he's got some skill. So yeah, I don't want to harp too much on Hill, but yeah, he's got to be better.
But I did want to bring it up because, like you said, he didn't look sharp, and I'm not sure how deep you went into it, but he did not look sharp. I mean, he was just missing a lot. But at the same sense, he didn't pitch too much in spring. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm not on overreaction, because, like you said, I did see a lot of it on Twitter also. Just be patient. I don't think he's going to be this bad, but yeah, it wasn't good by Rich Hill today by any means.
Yeah, no, he's got to get better, plain and simple.
Do you want to move on? I don't know the side you're on, but you talk about Rich Hill. Do you want to move on to the guy who came in for Rich Hill? Big Bank. Moreta.
Money Moreta. I'm obsessed with him.
DiNardo. I'm getting there. Let me preface it with this. And I know many people don't know, but I've only been able to watch opening day. All of last week, pretty much I was out. I had a death in the family. I didn't get to watch anything. So this is like this is really the second game I've watched like in its entirety. So I was seeing on Twitter, I was seeing the videos and stuff like that, the conversation about him, and he looks fun. But like, now that I watched him today too, I'm intrigued, Jim. He's reeling me in. Not just personality, which is something we talked about this team has lacked for years. Not just personality, but maybe a little bit of skill too.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. For the past few years, this team has just been so boring. Like, the best players on this team have no personality, right? Between Cabrian Hayes and Brian Reynolds the past few years, like, it's like, who can you like on this team? There was nobody to like. And now there are a lot of people to like, and Dauri Moreta is one of those people to like. Is Dauri Moreta any good? I have no idea. No idea. This is 4 games into the season. He has a 0 ERA. He's done the job, but he's looked shaky at times, but he's gotten the results. But I love the personality. I love the confidence. Like, the fact that a guy, and like, this is just kind of letting, like, Dauri Moreta it's not like this is like a 22-year-old rookie hotshot who like surged through the minors and now he's in the majors. Like this dude's 26. He's been like a quad A, a 4A pitcher for years now, up and down with the worst teams in all of baseball. Like he's played for the Reds and the Pirates. And this dude has unreal confidence for a 26-year-old reliever who's like a borderline like 40-man roster guy. I love it. I love it. And I hope he continues this because it would be such a fun story, such a fun guy to have. But yeah, love it. Love it so far.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this is the guy that was traded for Kevin Newman, the DFA guy. I mean, you're getting whatever you can get for Kevin Newman. And as we talked on the very first post-game show, 7 of his first 8 pitches in that game were all balls. Like he could not find the strike zone. And he's coming out, walking out that game like this, like he really did something. So you're talking about like the confidence this kid has and such. I love it though. I want it. I also want to see him produce so that like the two would go well together. Don't just end up being terrible and having this confidence and such. But like if he does, and that's what I'm saying, like he's definitely been shaky, but I'm seeing some skill behind him also. So I would like to see how this plays out. I don't know if he's good either yet, but I'm going to have fun watching it.
Yeah, no, he's a character, and we like if that's what baseball is. Like this is sport. This is an entertaining event, and he entertains me. So if you entertain me, I'm gonna like you.
So what are we doing? Is it money or is it big bank?
So if you look at the Pittsburgh Clothing Company, actually, 4 games into this dude's career, he's got a T-shirt already. That's already something pretty incredible to say. And the T-shirt says both. It says Big Bank Money Moretta.
Right.
So I think we can just roll with both. Like, why pick one?
I like it. I'm with you. Like, I mean, Money Moretta just falls off, but he goes by Big Bank, and I get that too. So. I guess if we're using his name in it, it's money. But if you're just saying big bank, we know who you're talking of.
The fact that he enters into PNC Park with the Here Comes the Money song, the Shane McMahon entrance. I saw that on Twitter and I died. Like I died right then and there.
Love it. I love this dude. All right. So we talked about Rich Hill. Talked about Big Bank. Do we just want to cap it off and finish it with Will Crowe?
Sure.
On the pitching side?
Will Crowe looked great in the 7th and 8th inning. 9th inning, not so well, but he was into the 40s, I think, at that point, pitch count wise. Finished with 59. Will Crowe threw 59 pitches today, almost as many as Rich Hill. Not really quite sure why he threw that many pitches, but that neither here nor there. I think he probably shouldn't have gone out for the 9th.
Why did he? This is the thing. This is why we discuss and talk about Shelton. Yes, he hasn't been given a roster to really work with, but it's these type of decisions that make you feel like when he does, maybe I don't want him around. What's the point of putting Will Crowe out there for a 3rd inning? Like I understand Rich Hill didn't go like the distance you maybe wanted him to see, but you only had to use 2 relievers. Like you could have having one guy pitch 1 inning today wasn't going to sacrifice the bullpen for this upcoming. And you already had a day off. And I don't get it. I don't get why you risk Will Crowe for the sake of all the other pitchers. Like just get him out. He pitched 2 good innings. You're good. Don't make the same mistakes he made last year.
Yeah. I mean, without knowing the conversations that are had in the dugout too, like it could have been where, if Will Crowe's at 40 pitches after 2 innings, that means Will Crowe's not pitching the rest of the series. Right. So do you go up to Will Crowe and say, hey, can you give us 1 more? And if he's confident in that he can, then sure. Why not? It was 13-7, it's not that big of a deal. So I don't know. I would have pulled Will Crowe if I was the manager, right? I would have brought in somebody else, maybe Jose Hernandez. I would have brought in like Jose Hernandez, like get him into a game. Just, you need to give him games anyways. But he didn't. He gave up 2 runs. Doesn't matter. Results still the same. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah. Hold. Kenny's saying DiNardo complaining about a win. Shake my head to get Tyler in there. The next very comment, Tyler saying not to mention to force them to get Bednar hot. So yeah, see, Tyler's complaining too. He's on my side here, but that's where I'm at.
So
I'm not going to go too deep into it, but again, this is just one of those things. Like, it's April 7th. Why are we having Will Crow throw 60 pitches in a game?
Yeah. No, I said it's a fine point.
All right, let's move on. Back to positivity. Let's get back to this lineup of whoever we haven't discussed, I guess. There's plenty of guys.
Ke'Bryan Hayes.
Yes.
Hayes pulled a ball hard in the air, hit the left center field gap, big double. Because that was in the 3rd inning, right?
Yes, I believe.
Yeah, so that was right after the White Sox took a big lead. They surged ahead 5-2 in the top half of the 3rd. So getting something back there in the 3rd, nice job by Hayes. That's what we want to see out of him. We want to see him hit the ball hard in the air to his pull side, and we saw that today. So again, not sure if that's yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I would say that's not something we've seen from him a lot this season. So hopefully we can see that a little bit more and more going forward.
Right. What I was going to say is I do want to add the first at bat too. He didn't pull it, but he did hit it pretty hard as well. It was a fly out. Did go the other way with it, but 100 and or no, it wasn't 100. It was no, that was the double. Where was my bad? 95 miles an hour the other way, 354 feet. But yeah, like, it was nice to see that, and then he followed up with actually pulling it and getting the base hit double. But yeah, it was a good game by Brian Reynolds. Good game by Ke'Bryan Hayes today as well.
What's crazy is we scored 13 runs. And I'm just kind of looking at the StatCast page here real quick. 4 out of the top 5 hardest hit balls today were by White Sox. So, the White Sox had 11 hits of their own. But yeah, Pirates with just a barrage, 19 hit barrage. Only way to really put it. And the White Sox just couldn't keep up with it.
Very true. Also doesn't help when you load the bases up and Brian Reynolds hits a triple. Then you have a throwing error and he scores on that also.
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about Reynolds before, but just came up huge in every single big moment. Bucko Mike's going to have to find a new nickname for him.
Yeah, he is. So I want to talk about a couple guys here also. Let's talk with, he didn't have the flashiest game, but O'Neal Cruz, he did go 1 for 3 today. 2 walks on the day, gives him 5 on the year. We discussed, O'Neal Cruz, leadoff hitter. He's doing his job right now. Again, we're talking about O'Neal Cruz has 5 walks in 7 games. Short sample, 7 games. I get it. But O'Neal Cruz has 5 walks in 7 games. Like, let's discuss that. This is something that he doesn't do. He doesn't walk. You put him in a leadoff role, and he's getting on base. He's not just hitting the ball hard, but he's also getting on base.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing. I mean, you've kind of missed it, but it's really been the whole season. His approach at the plate is completely different than it was last year. He's being patient. He's not like there were multiple times where even when he was on, and hitting the ball hard towards the end of the year last year, he would still put together pretty non-competitive at bats, where he was swinging at pitches just nowhere near the strike zone. And we haven't seen that yet this year from him. He's being more patient. The walk rate, it's up to 15.6% now. He's cutting back on the strikeouts. His strikeout rate now below 20%. He did strike out once today, but I mean, he's at an 18.8% K rate. Guys, if O'Neal Cruz is walking 15% of the time and striking out less than 20% of the time, he's going to be getting MVP votes. He's going to be getting MVP votes. Like that's what's going to happen if he continues to walk and strike out at the rate he's at right now.
Granted, if he's walking 10% of the time or more and striking out 20% or less,
he's getting MVP.
you're
votes.
still in the same conversation.
Yeah. He hits the ball so hard, and he hits the ball so hard too often that if he's making contact that much and walking that much, his numbers are going to be really good.
Right. So again, that's why I wanted to bring him up. It's not as if there's a lot of guys that had really flashy games today, but I do just want to mention this because now, granted, I haven't seen the games in between, as I discussed, but this is something we talked about in spring as well. Just like you said, his approach is much different. It's carrying over as well into the actual season. I am liking what I see out of O'Neal Cruz in that leadoff spot, which a lot of people, especially towards us, were saying you're silly for thinking about O'Neal Cruz in the leadoff spot.
And,
So
he's
far,
even
so
putting,
good.
yeah, I mean, he's even putting together good at bats against lefties too. You saw that. He faced Diekman, but that was a pretty piss poor pitching sequence from Diekman to Cruz. I mean, there was just nothing even close. But Cruz laid off all those sliders, sweepers, whatever you want to call them, all those things outside the zone. He laid those off. So just a really nice approach that we're seeing from Cruz at the beginning of the year, and it's he's put together good numbers, right? I mean, if you look at him so far, and you look at that slash line, like you'll take that, but with these behaviors that we're seeing out of him, those numbers are only going to get better.
Right. Move on to the next guy I want to talk about is G1 Bay. Another phenomenal game. He so far, again, having a bad spring, actually. He's transitioning so far, having a really good season. Now, something I talked about, and I think we all discussed this, right? But like G1 Bay, his speed is going to present power. Like he's not a power guy, although he does have the home run this year. But today, I think, was a great example of that. His double wasn't because he smashed the hell out of that ball. Now it was hit hard. I think it was a 6-degree launch angle. I mean, it's to the ground, bounced on the second baseman's glove.
Yeah.
Right. He got a double off of that, Jim. I mean, he hit the ball to the second baseman and got a double.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen
in the bunt today also that ended up being a base hit. His speed is terrorizing.
So this is now 3 games this year where, he's been a difference maker. So I think that's what I guess you're dealing with somebody like this where he can make things happen that a lot of players can't. And we talk about Cruz in a way where Cruz makes things happen in a way that a lot of people can't. Bay does it just in a different way. Now, G1 Bay doesn't have the skill set that Cruz does, but like you mentioned, that speed allows him to put together performances where he's going to change games. I kind of just bringing up an example like Billy Hamilton, right? Like Billy Hamilton by no means was like a good baseball player. Like he was fine, right? He was fine for who he was. And I think he terrorized the Pirates more than most teams, but you saw Billy Hamilton a lot of times like game changing speed where he would just annoy the hell out of you because of what he wanted. He could just do whatever he wanted out there on the field sometimes. And it was just so annoying. And like maybe Bay turns out to be somebody like that, where he's a game changer because of that speed. Now, I don't think he has Billy Hamilton speed, but he's fast. He's a fast guy and he's athletic. He can do a lot of things. He's got better bat to ball skills than Billy Hamilton. He's a better hitter than Billy Hamilton was.
Yeah. So
when you kind of take that with the speed that he has, he can take over some games. And today, a lot of people took over today's game. But definitely, I mean, 3-hit performance out of Bay can't ask for anything more than that.
No, I think a good way of putting it, and I may be a little bit off here, but the good way of putting it is he doesn't have Billy Hamilton's speed, but with the bigger bags, kind of puts him in that category.
Yeah, no, you might be right.
So imagine Billy Hamilton right now. He's pissed.
Yeah, Billy Hamilton's in the league right now. He would
just
an
bunt
extra,
every single time.
4.5 inch, advantage on the base paths. Ooh.
Right. Yeah. But so again, like very good offensive game. But there was something I saw again today, and this is something we noticed and jokingly said a little bit in spring. There's not a ball that Bay sees hit that's not his. So, you know what? You had the meeting. I don't think you saw it. If you did, correct me, but let me know.
I didn't see that.
He almost interfered with Carlos Santana on a fly ball that like Santana was sitting under. So there's certainly something there. You know, we've seen him cut in front of O'Neal Cruz playing the shortstop position a few times so far. He almost runs into and takes a ball from Carlos Santana as the first baseman. So something to look out for there. You know, as I mentioned, there's definitely not a ball that he sees that's not his so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just one of those things where, you know, if you're used to kind of running all over the field and being the guy out there, you gotta take a step back sometimes and be like,
yep,
there's probably someone else who's in a better position to make this play than me. So he'll get there eventually, I'm sure. He bounces around to a lot of positions too, so that kind of makes it tough on him. He never really it's hard to get, you know, into a routine or a groove when you're bouncing around like that. But no, I missed that play, so I can't really speak on it.
Yeah. What about you? Who next? Again, I want to talk about those two. I know we've talked about a few already.
We didn't talk a ton about Connor Joe. Another huge game. He's looked really good this season in general. 4 for 5, 3 doubles. Just great game.
He had a good spring.
Yeah. I mean, he's an upgrade, I think, over, you know, those 4th outfielders that we've had the last few years. And I think that's pretty clear. So especially against lefties, looks like he's going to be pretty good. Today he was facing a righty and Giolito, but got to him. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing out of Connor Joe so far.
So far, so good. Basically, like you're saying, you know, it's small sample. It's still Connor Joe. You look at a career, and you know, I'm skeptic. Like he's not going to do this, but that's why we talked. Like he did have a good spring. There was signs of what we saw in spring we liked, and it's carrying over so far again. And like you said today, huge game. So him on the season's batting .500. On base 533, slugging 714. He's got a 237 weighted runs created plus. Connor Joe.
Yeah.
So
killing the ball.
Good. Yeah.
And I mean, we're coming up towards our end here. We're at 32 minutes. We like to kind of keep these at 30, but we got to talk about Andrew McCutchen's return.
Okay. Let's cap it off.
Let's kind of cap it with that. Like all of this whole, you know, the Boston Red Sox sweep, the blackout, the sellout crowd, the atmosphere. It was really all for him. Like welcoming Kutch home. I was so mad I didn't get to see it live, but I went back and I watched it, and just an incredible moment for not only him, but for the fans, the city. Like he's where he belongs, and the day couldn't have gone better. Just for everyone involved. Well done all around. Well done, Pirates, for making it happen. Well done by Kutch for wanting to come home. Well done, everybody in the front office. It was a great day.
It was.
We don't have too
meant
many
a lot.
we don't have too many great days as Pirates fans lately. And like today was a great day.
That's what I was saying. Like heading into this game, it just, like you said, I mean, we knew Kutch returned, so this was going to be a big day regardless. Like everyone was anticipating the Kutch return to Pittsburgh. But the Pirates also swept the Red Sox going into it. AJ Burnett throwing out the first pitch to Russell Martin. You know, like everything was just playing up. And hell, Turner's Tea and Icy Light team up, and they have a beer selling at PNC Park. Pittsburgh Clothing Company getting all the shout outs, I felt like today. You know, like this was Pittsburgh. And what I want to say too is this wasn't just like the token or the appreciation of Andrew McCutchen and, well, you're the old guy, but you meant so much. Here you go. Again, it's an early season, but he's also performing to date. So far, I mean, he's batting 300, on base 500. The dude has 7 walks so far this year in 7 games. Like he is performing. He's part of the reason why so far they're at a 5-2 record, you know, and part of why this clubhouse seems to be vibing so far. I mean, that's everything you're hearing so far as well. I mean, we're talking about guys who were in the clubhouses years before to now. Like, it just seems like it's night and day. Hey, Ben Cherington, maybe this is why you should have done this beforehand, but regardless, it's here now. This is why we wanted it. Like, this clubhouse seems to be in a much, much different place. Big reason, Andrew McCutcheon. So, like, this meant a lot, but also he's truly part of it. It's not just like the old guy and here's your token, support and appreciation. He's part of this stuff. So this is a really, really good day.
Yep. I agree. It was a great day. Great day.
This was worth the $5 million.
The get-in price today was like $160 just to get in the door. If you wanted to buy a ticket this morning, say, you know what, I'm going to go to the Pirates game, it would cost you over $150.
Yeah. Much different lineup today than what opened at PNC Park the past 2 years, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to talk about and discuss?
Nah, let's get out of here. Let's get another sweep. Let's just sweep. Let's sweep both Sox, Red Sox and White Sox.
Why not?
Let's do it.
I mean, their pitching's pretty terrible right now, so it could happen. It could happen.
It could.
All right, let's get out of here then. Pirates play tomorrow. We'll be back on for the post-game show. As Kenny said, subscribe to our newsletter. If you haven't already subscribed to this YouTube channel, do that. Subscribe to everything. Just Google North Shore 9. Just hit subscribe to everything that comes up. Do that.
It's a good plan.
All right, let's get out of here so Jim can tell you to subscribe once again.
All right, see you guys.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.